Hey, my name's
What the
Blake.
f*** is up, you buttercups?
Damn. Maybe this wasn't a good idea having more people.
You know what? This is an experimental podcast. Let's just go
I'm
with that
a
one,
crackhead,
alright?
but I'll keep it chill now.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
true.
100% chill for me.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so we got a buttload of topics to talk about today. Also, a specific topic that we've already talked about, but I just like trashing on this app. So,
TikTok.
yeah, TikTok bad. We can all agree on that.
Yes.
So, to launch out with some gaming news,
Gaming? That wasn't on our list.
yes, it was.
Hey, what's first? No, I thought we were doing an shoot my phone.
Oh, okay. You know, fine. Let's just do it in order.
Yeah.
So the company OnePlus, they've been gaining popularity in the past few years. They were established in 2014, so they're fairly new in the smartphone world. Although they are owned by Oppo, which is kind of a giant tech giant.
Are they?
They are Oppo. It's the OnePlus 8 Pro are their latest phones, and yeah, they've been going extremely upmarket compared to their original philosophy of a flagship killer, is what they called it. They originally had a phone
Yeah,
with
they called it
flagship
that.
specs for $300, and now their phone starts at $700 and goes up to $1,000.
Wow.
Oh God.
So, why do you think are they doing this to gain profits during the times that we are in right now, or are they just making it seem like a very high-end phone when it possibly could not be that?
Well, they've always made high-end phones, but they've always been missing certain things like wireless charging or an official water resistance rating. And this year they
Gotcha.
finally have that. That does justify the increase in price compared to last year. But they've been
but-
going up and up the past years.
Yeah, but does
Yeah,
that justify
exactly.
this amount? Like most flagships, I see did start at 300. This is almost triple that.
Yeah. Well, nowadays I believe you can get a much better priced phone for a lower price, such as the Pocophone 2. Other phones too.
Wait, is the Pocophone is the Pocophone 2 out yet?
I thought it was.
Hello, Moto.
Yeah.
I don't.
It doesn't have
Is it?
Snapdragon 865 like all the high-end phones. But yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't. No, I think you mean the K20 Pro,
the
the K30 Pro.
Poco F2.
I cannot be the only one with a pen in my
Yeah.
mouth right now.
No, Poco F2.
I myself own.
I think.
Is it? Let me see.
Alright, this is
Interesting.
after. No,
Yeah, I think it's.
So
it's sort of that
do you-
philosophy of phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you think this is the flagship that actually puts this brand out there to be able to compete with bigger giants such as Android and Apple?
Well, that's the thing. They've been gaining popularity, and even with the OnePlus 6, that was when they really started gaining
Yeah.
traction with sales. That was only I believe it was like 400 to 500.
Gotcha.
So it was higher than their original phone, but it was still much cheaper than the other options out there, such as the $1,000 iPhone 10.
Yeah.
But is
I mean,
this something that
my-
consumers should keep an eye out on for future purchases? Or should this something to be kept under the radar and more research need to be done before you actually like start getting into this?
Well, relative to the competition, such as Samsung or Apple, it still is a decently priced phone compared to this. Sadly, I have to say that compared to the Galaxy Ultra, S20 Ultra, and the iPhone 10, and how far that can go up to. But there still
Gotcha,
are better
gotcha.
options out there compared to spending that much on a phone. But compared to everything else in its class, it's on
Yeah.
par at least.
Does anyone else want to comment on
What
this?
do you guys think?
I mean, my parents have like 2 OnePlus 6s, so it's pretty popular.
Yeah, I have a OnePlus 5. I got it used. It still is really fast, of course. OnePlus software, the Oxygen OS they call it. It's it holds up really well. It's really responsive, especially relative to other versions of Android.
True.
Yeah, just these new phones, they keep going up market even more and more. Although there are rumors actually of a OnePlus Z that may be coming out this summer, so it is important to look out for that. Maybe something that follows the company's sort of philosophy, original philosophy at least more. Because they finally added these more expensive things, official waterproofing,
But
wireless
like,
charging.
here's the thing. I think the flagship killer section of phones is getting more popularized over the years because at the start it was OnePlus who, started it
Yeah.
in a way. And then we have Xiaomi, and now we have Apple itself dropping the SE2, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a brand new priority for phone makers to jump on sales because it's really fertile.
Yep, that's another thing I wanted to mention. The iPhone SE, right below it on the list. Yes, following the list.
Oh,
Nice segue.
Yes, no, the iPhone SE. It's there's nothing much to say about it except it's a parts bin iPhone 8 with the modern processor and cameras that are in production for the higher end phones. It is a solid mid-range option, although of course it is kind of dated compared to some of the other options out there when
But
you're
here's
talking
the
about
thing.
the size of the screen and stuff.
does it have the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 11 software?
It's well, it's just iOS, so the software is consistent across all.
Yeah,
the
but
things.
true. I think I didn't think of that.
Yes.
It's gonna
What
get
phone
as
do you
many
use?
software updates as an iPhone as the current
let me
iPhones.
finish.
But it's the same software experience as the iPhone 8.
And almost the same hardware, almost.
I want to hear Retro's take on the iPhone SE. What do you think about it?
So, I myself do own an iPhone, but as far as I know is I have not seen much of the iPhone SE, so I don't know what it's all about or anything. Because as of right now, I currently still own an iPhone 7. Yes, I live in 2017 still, but
Same.
I only use an iPhone 7 because one, it's still a reliable phone that I can use every day. It gets the job done. It's not slow. It's up to speed and everything. I mean, originally what the newer iPhones were designed for, the one with like 3 and 2 cameras, they were more designed for like people that like taking photos and stuff like that. Wouldn't you all agree?
Yeah.
But yeah, as an avid iPhone user, this is an iPhone 7, right? I actually need to take the case off for this. My my iPhone, it looks like those like early 2000s dad phones, like
I
those-
think what you're talking about is a Nokia cell phone.
no, the Blackberries with the like red and black cases.
I know what you're talking about. I owned one of them myself. That was
Oh,
my first
yeah,
ever
yeah.
phone.
Speaking of which, is BlackBerry like getting anything recently?
I have no fucking
the
clue. I
company's
forgot they
dying.
existed.
So BlackBerry's
dying.
dying. Damn.
BlackBerry is very much dying.
Yeah, it's dying.
So do you think whoever makes OnePluses are going to be able to like take up that spot, or they already have?
Wait,
I
what?
feel like it's eventually
Huh?
going to sink into that spot.
Yeah.
Well, what's the question?
No, do you think that OnePlus will eventually like beat out BlackBerry in just total sales?
Wait, BlackBerry?
Sales. Yeah, BlackBerry.
No, you mean
Or has it already
about-
transcended
talking about
beyond?
total?
Total.
I don't think that's something that you really should compare. Really, a different
that's just
sort
a
of eras of the
generalized
smartphone, but
It's just a general comparison that people are going to be looking at.
what about how legendary
Because-
the company ends up being?
Yeah, because people want a more broader spectrum to look at, and also something that's easier to look up.
Here's the thing. I think that releasing too many phones is bad for the company.
Oversaturation of the market.
Because,
Inflation.
exactly.
Because
Not only inflation, but the customer will get confused on what phone should they buy, especially if they have like similarities in their features.
It's actually something interesting that I like to think about Apple. Before Steve Jobs always had the idea with Apple about oversaturation of the market is not a good thing. So he always stuck with one phone a year. That's what he released. And the year after he died, when the iPhone 5S came out, Apple released an iPhone 5C along with that. So I'm not sure if these iPhones were planned years and years in advance, but it is something kind of weird to think about, you know?
so,
Yeah,
like,
true.
was this the doing of Steve Jobs, or was
Well,
this?
I'm saying that Steve Jobs was against saturation of the market, and the year after he
Yeah,
died,
exactly.
that's when Apple started releasing more than one phone a year.
Gotcha. So, do you think it's because Steve Jobs, kicked the bucket, or because he had that plan all along?
It's hard to say how far Apple plans their phones in advance and how much development the iPhone 5C had because it was just an iPhone 5 with a plastic shell. It's hard to say, but it's just something interesting to think about.
Well,
I don't know.
I think like Apple is low key behind a lot of companies when it comes to making look cleaner. I don't mean the software, but I think the hardware, like the screen.
Yep, their hardware design is widely copied. Starting with like the display cutout, the notch people call it. Things like that. Removing the headphone jack was a common trend that really started with Apple. A few phones had no headphone jack before, but Apple really started the trend.
So,
True.
being the Apple person and owning an iPhone 7, I don't have the phone jack anymore, where I can just stick a pair of headphones in there now. Well, personally, I do like AirPods, but I prefer like still having that jack there because, think of the people that can't afford that kind of stuff, even though they clearly own a fucking quite expensive phone.
The option.
But I mean, yeah, iPhone, they created that fucking whatever it's called, dongle. I hate saying that because it sounds so fucking weird. But every time I've owned one of them, it always breaks within like a fucking 3-month span. Then I have to go back to the store, pay another fucking $30 for a piece of wires and shit.
$30.
You don't know how hard it is here, all right, son? Because I hated just going to the store over and over again, just buying them constantly. It was just the worst idea on the planet. But Apple, they said, you know what? This is a great idea to get fucking money. They are trying to make as much money as possible from their phones by saying, hey, in order to listen to your fucking music again with normal headphones, you need to buy one of these. Or you can pay an extra lot of money to get Bluetooth headphones. Now, I know some pair of Bluetooth headphones are like cheap and stuff like that, but do they tend to work quite often? Not really. Are some reliable, though? Yes.
I do
Anyway.
find that a very interesting statement.
So, dear Apple, please bring back the fucking headphone jack that we all loved. You bastards. And he's back.
Yeah, because smartphone manufacturers, they're putting like these pop-up cameras and everything. It's like they have enough room for a headphone jack if they can put a motorized pop-up camera in their phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at the iPhone 7, which I have right now, I'm currently looking at the charging port, and I would guess it is the mic to the right, but then there's something to the left that looks exactly like the mic will look like.
Lovec. I remember I've watched a YouTube video of someone installing a head jack on the iPhone 7, and it honestly wasn't that easy. He went months into
That
China just.
no,
I would do that because
I give the man credit for actually making his own headphone jack, but the fucking precision you must have to do
Yeah,
that.
He has to
exactly.
make his own custom circuit board to put the headphone
Own
dongle
custom,
inside the
yeah,
iPhone.
exactly.
circuit board
Apple
and
needs to
everything.
hire him. Maybe
Get
they will
this man.
Hates him.
honestly, Apple needs him
You
if
could
they
have
want to
Chinese
continue.
sweatshops being set up doing this for you.
It's all part of their plan to sell your AirPods, pretty much.
Yeah, they
It's-
just wanted.
Well, someone's mic just died.
Oh, rip. This is
Every-
Discord call, by the way. Those of you
Yeah,
listening, all
sure.
20 of you.
My
point
mic
of
is far now.
view.
Someone's mic.
Okay, I think this should work now.
Okay, now you can edit this back. Like you cut the whole back portion out.
Right.
All right, we're
Alright,
gonna see
so-
you cut that one
wait,
bit out.
Shush.
Okay, here's the thing. If I don't hear you all talking, I'll just shut up because that's what usually happens.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Moving on to Motorola releasing a high-end phone for a change.
Yep, so in the past few
High-end
years,
phone?
they've been focusing on the mid-range, and then they've also been focusing on their pretty gimmicky Moto Z lineup, with the Moto mods you snap on the back. Their Moto G line has been their best-selling lineup for years, but they're finally going back into the high-end phone market. Probably the last time I think that they've really released a high-end phone was the Moto X was sort of a high-end phone. I believe it was $500. For some of their Moto Z's were pretty high end too. Their Force lineup, I think, it's called, they had high end processors, but they're like their true flagship phone. It's like not a gimmick, just a normal flagship phone. The Motorola Edge Plus. It is pretty much on par with the higher end OnePlus phones, Samsung phones. High resolution, high refresh rate, edge screen with the punch hole camera, and that's
Headphone
pretty much it to
jack?
say. It's just pretty much a phone.
Does it have a headphone jack though?
I don't think so.
You're funny.
I guess it does not have a headphone jack.
Actually,
Sorry.
hold on. Which phone company is going back into the past and making their like a foldable phone, flip phone?
That's
Which
Motorola
company is that?
Razr. Well, that's an expensive phone too, but it's kind of a niche phone, niche lineup.
It's kind of a statement phone more than a
Because
phone.
I thought like because like you can have it like in like a small normal like not iPhone, like a small normal phone mode, and then you can like flip it over to have like this huge screen. Which phone is that?
The Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the problem
Yeah.
with that is that it's gonna break in like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, Barry. If like you give that to a kid, he's gonna think, "Ooh, I wonder what happens when I snap this in half."
Yeah. No, because if the phone's only halfway folded
Oh,
in or
look at
halfway
that! I
folded
can
out,
snap it in half.
You can actually like see through the display if you look at it from the side.
Yeah.
So like dust and stuff can like easily get under the display.
Oh yeah, Barry.
Yeah. So
Now,
I mean, if you have the money, then like, okay.
Now, do you think this Motorola high-end phone is gonna like do well?
It's Motorola, so I don't know.
It's Motorola or nothing.
Because they do well when it comes to mid-range phones.
Oh yeah, the Moto G lineup, like I mentioned.
Yes.
Nokia.
But when it comes to this high-end phone coming out, do you think it's going to be a positive change on the company or not when it comes to overall sales and just popularity of the brand and phone overall?
Well, at the high end, I believe that phone companies like OnePlus and Samsung really have the reputation, so it's really hard to say if people will actually move over to this different company, because Motorola doesn't really offer anything that really stands out from Samsung or OnePlus. Yeah.
Gotcha,
And the gimmicks
gotcha.
that they have brought in the past, such as the Moto Z lineup with the Moto mods, is been pretty niche too. But this Edge Plus is just kind of boring, you can say. It's not a bad phone in any
Gotcha.
way. It's just boring.
It's like
like
any other
relative to the
phone
other
that
ones
you
out there.
find. Yeah.
Now, when I think of non-boring phones, we all know the meme of Nokia being basically bulletproof, pretty much, right?
3310, yeah.
Yeah. 3310.
Yeah. So I want you to go ahead and just replace a bulletproof vest with Nokia's real quick.
Brake pads for your car.
Oh yeah. I want. So Nokia came out with a case for that phone. I'm thinking like, that's not to protect the phone. That's to protect the fucking ground from creating a crater.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, you could drop the fucking Nokia from the Empire State Building. That shit would be a fucking meteor.
Yeah.
Because I think at that time and point, Nokia knew what the fuck they were doing when making a bulletproof phone. They were probably sitting down in their little meeting room planning their shit out. All right, listen up, guys. Now, when we design this phone, I want this to be bulletproof. I want there to be fucking titanium in this, okay? Now, we can put all the silicone and other shit in it. More importantly, I want bulletproof. The CEO of Nokia just like sees this idea that someone has just made, and he's like, "Genius! Why haven't I thought of this yet?" Like, if Nokia were to stick with the bulletproof phones, I think the meme would bring the Nokia phones like high up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of as burner phones, you mean?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, because some phones have tried to be rugged in the past. There are some like smaller brands like I don't even know the names of them. They're so small. They try to make like rugged phones. They're typically just like rubber phones with
Like, are you talking about like Chinese off-brand phones like the iPhone
what?
and the Samsung?
No.
The Nike?
Actually.
Yo,
Something like the cat. You know the
Motorola.
company cat. Yeah, the trailer company. They
Like
have,
I've seen some Chinese do
phone.
some pretty dumb shit to make some off-brand stuff. Someone like super glued the New York Yankees logo to like a navy blue hat, and I immediately thought, you fucking idiot.
I'm looking at some phones that look weird. ZTE Adacel,
That's
I guarantee. I guarantee. No, somewhere out there, I guarantee there's a phone that is shaped like a fucking octagon.
Yes.
I guarantee.
I'm gonna look that up.
Octagon-shaped phone. Google. He found
There
something.
is
Oh
kind of.
my god.
Get Steve Jobs on the fucking phone right now.
It is literally called Octagon, a phone with a smart edge.
Yes, I sent it.
Yes,
That actually
that
exists.
actually is really cool.
Dude,
So,
that actually
yeah.
looks dope.
So, has anyone ever heard of this before? No.
No.
Could it be a potential big thing?
Is that real?
Possibly.
That has iPhone icon.
I guarantee this is a European thing. This is a very European thing, judging by how that C is made.
Wait. It has an iOS operating
Yeah,
system.
it's just like a concept.
What?
It has
Like,
it
if
has
you
the
look
old
at the
iPhone
bottom-
icons.
Yeah.
The user
I was about to say.
interface. I'm reading. The user interface and the applications are very similar to the widely popular iPhone, but it has been artistically backed into the 8-sided cutting-edge design of Octagon.
Okay. So
there's
yes,
just-
this
yeah,
is
there's
an,
just
so basically,
Android.
icons on it.
yeah. So basically, this is an off-brand iPhone,
Yeah.
but the Octagon is like a very well-made, like aesthetically unique. Like they
Yeah.
actually did like a good job with it. Now, what is this one you brought to me here? This hexagon-shaped one, or rectangular hexagon, I should say.
This is something that I found. This
This
So-
this looks like a Samsung to me. First off,
I'm
judging
gonna
by the
be
yeah,
reading
camera
off.
on the
I'm
middle.
gonna be reading off of the article. This is from The Verge. There are lots of good things in life that are hexagon shaped. Honeycomb from beehives, honeycomb cereal, super hexagon, ASTM and iOS standard bolts, and 5/8 of the panels on a soccer ball. So this is the Kiku K1, the first smartphone from Kiku Mobile that hopes to join these illustrious geometric ranks with unique hexagonal designs that the company refers to as the Double V.
When was this announced? 'Cause this design seems
I'm
kinda
looking-
dated.
It really does seem kind of dated because this is the Kiku K1. This looks like
Okay, that's
It's LG
curved.
from like
That
2014.
yeah.
That's it.
So
I'm looking that
the
up.
LG G flexed. Okay, so
A phone that flexes.
now we're getting to like more like well, LG is somewhat of a known brand. Now
Yeah.
I want y'all to go back to like Samsung 8 days. Who remembers the Samsung 8 Note or like the Samsung Note strictly, where you could literally have your phone become a hand grenade itself?
Yes.
Yeah. And
They've
was
now-
it the Note 8?
Regulation.
I think it was the Note 8 that was strictly a hand grenade.
Or the Note 7.
No, I think it's the Note 7.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
It was Note
Okay,
7. They had battery problems.
battery problems. Okay,
This was in
Yeah.
2016. There was some drama behind this phone.
There was a lot of it.
Yeah, the Note 7.
now I've been an iPhone person for all my life, but when Samsung released the Edge, that's when I got intrigued because I like the idea of it. Like, because you know how like some people have their phone face down on a table, and
Yeah.
whenever like they get a notification, like the sides of it will light up. I like that idea a lot because
I had the S7 Edge, and that actually worked out a lot.
Until it blew up.
you know like I feel
Yeah.
like iPhone is a very reliable brand. Like it's made billions of dollars easily.
Did you not hear that, Retro?
Yeah.
My
Same-
S7 Edge blew up.
Seven. Seven. Now, like I said, Samsung and iPhone, two very good respected brands. Possibly have made billions and millions of dollars. I say possibly. Very. Because
Kinda cutting
you
edge.
never know what could happen.
True. Now, I just zoned out there so hard.
We're talking about like the iPhone.
Put your plug
Yes,
back in. All right?
iPhone. Yeah, we need a rectangular. We need not a We need a hexagon phone now.
Yes.
One that's actually good.
I want a hexagon phone.
I want a trapezoid phone.
Trapezoid.
I want a triangle phone.
Ooh,
Oh,
are you shitting me? This is a work phone. This is strictly a like construction work.
Yeah.
that's a black.
Notice the word cat at the top with the triangle under the A. That is strictly a fucking construction.
And it looks like a
Like,
Android.
You bring that into a
Kinda
strip club, you
overpriced.
deserve to get
It's an
fucking shot.
Android.
I'll try to have photos.
It's
on the
like
screen.
I think it's.
Oh,
Uh,
Okay, if this thing can, okay, so judging by the logo that says cat at the top, if this thing cannot withstand a fucking jackhammer to it, I'm gonna.
No,
Okay,
it does.
cut
It
out.
does. Believe me, it does.
You're gonna what? You cut out.
Struggles here.
Did we just lose him?
I'm here, you.
You're gonna have to cut that out.
editing
You're
this one.
so gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah, you're gonna very much have to cut that out so I don't get.
You're gonna have to
triggered
cut
out
a
by
lot.
lot of feminists.
Demonetized.
Okay, moving
Demonetized to
on.
begin with.
I only
Moving on. Moving on. Moving
Yeah,
on.
let's
What
move on.
even is next on our list? All right.
Esports becoming more popular in general, or even more popular than actual
Yeah.
sports?
Esports is
In
the
light
only
of recent
sport.
events, I think that sort of society has sort of been drawn towards esports as opposed to normal sports.
Okay.
Normal sports aren't
Yet-
occurring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yet here's my.
Okay,
but I want to state
Damn it.
something.
Did I speak?
Go on.
Fight me.
Why do we have four
Okay,
people on here?
so I will not fight you. You are a respected friend. But as I was saying, so yes, esports has become a very huge thing now due to people not being able to see actual live sports in front of them while sitting down in a very cheap plastic seat that hurts your back every 20 minutes. But as I was saying, yes, esports is becoming a very popular thing now. So I don't know if any of y'all know this, but does anybody know of the USL Soccer League?
No.
That's a no. Okay,
No.
so wait,
I don't think
what
so.
this so this is a professional soccer league. So what they have taken their soccer league and implemented it into yes.
What?
I sh- This I
You cut out
say
that time.
so professional Rocket League is now being implemented into professional real life soccer because like actual soccer players and supporters from their respective teams are playing in Rocket League tournaments as like here.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'll see if I can actually find it on. So
hmm
I actually have found it real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this.
It was actually.
So this is it right here. This is the USL E Cup with professional soccer teams from around the United playing in a USL E Cup. So
Wow.
currently, yeah, all of these teams are currently playing up against each other right now. And me being from Indy,
Dude, that's
I
sick.
support my. Yes, I know, right? And like I said, these are all professional soccer from the United States. They're league just one league below the MLS, Major League Soccer. But these are still professional out here playing on Rocket League. 'Cause-
Now, here's the thing. Are they good?
Are they? Oh, yes. Actually, like maybe 65% of these teams on here are like really good players. From what I've seen, they do Twitch streams as well. They do Twitch streams. So, being from Indy, my respected team is the. So, we are actually a very good team in this, and we got knocked out by Tucson, who is an even better team than us.
What happened to the Philadelphia Union?
Philadelphia
I'll be
Union.
right back, guys.
Well, this is what fucking happens when you're a second team. Philadelphia Union's on there. They're right below.
You're cutting out.
A lot.
Philadelphia is in Group 3. You
You're cutting
It's
out
like
so
mad
bad.
cutting out. Well, related to that, a professional NASCAR driver actually got
NASCAR.
fired because people are playing. I believe it was iRacing.
And he said
He said a bad
slurred.
word.
Mm-hmm. Now, back on topic after that whole mic cutout sequence, due to recent events, people are flocking back to esports. But the statement I
Well, considering
wanted
they're
to make
actually
it
going on
first,
as opposed to normal sports.
true. But my statement I wanted to make at first is how the media and literally everyone else was bashing just playing video games to earn money, and now look at everyone; they're flocking to this.
Yep.
It's like everything that the majority goes against, they eventually turn to. Teachers being like, sitting down and staring at a screen is not going to get you money. But what are teachers doing right now? Staring at a screen.
Yeah.
So that's what I think just when it comes to esports.
Sort of like I'm against it
And
until it actually applies to me.
yeah, you're against it until you're forced to do it. And then you realize, oh, hey, maybe this isn't that bad.
You okay? You know what I think would be like interesting to see, like high school like athletic teams like soccer, baseball, and
Mm-hmm.
so what I was thinking you could like possibly do for that is like you could get the respected game. Like if you played football, you would get Madden. If you would play soccer, you would get FIFA. Yeah, so on and so forth. Now you can like make your own like pro team. Like you can be on it, you can make your own player and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would cheat on that part. But it's the game. But like, yeah, I was thinking of that in like the very beginning while this happened. What are the high school teams going to do? You could always try and implement it in digital sports such as FIFA, Madden, NBA, MLB, NHL. It's yeah, you know what I find funny? How come cheerleader's not a major like gaming sport yet? That's funny because it's not a sport.
Yes.
Anyways,
Dang.
continue.
Moving on. TikTok bad
Again?
Gross.
again because due to recent events, the whole hype house drama that actually made friggin' headlines.
I'm waiting for TikTok to take a big crash.
Honestly, here's my thing. I think it's getting even more saturated, and the inflation that already it had back in 2019 is just getting inflated even more.
It's still a bandwagon platform that people are staying with, at least for now.
For now, until they realize that it is infected with COVID-19.
Wait, what? No, you said the bad word. You said the bad word.
Shush.
You said the
I'm
word
gonna have
that
to
gets
censor that.
everybody
I'm gonna have to
talking.
censor that.
I'm back.
I'd have to censor
not
like
even
half of what
monetized.
Retro says.
Okay, yeah, true. So let's
And the other
let's
half is
be
all cut out.
Okay, let's
Don't forget that TikTok is just new Musically, which died. So TikTok will probably die in recent
true.
years.
But let's be honest.
Mhm.
Dancing should not make you absolutely like
Just because
you.
you have millions of followers on TikTok does not make you famous. You fucking fat cunt. Get out of the house and do something with your life.
I could not agree with him anymore on that, even though this is going to get cut out probably.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get
Still
out, 'cause
getting
I
cut
say-
out.
Oh, well.
I can do
Reverse burp.
Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I'm preventing my cat from causing chaos by jumping up on the desk. Give me a sec.
Your mic is already causing chaos.
It has been causing chaos since the very beginning.
Chaos control.
Corn.
All right, we're gonna cut that here. Back on topic. SpaceX launches 60 Starlink rockets. Just in one day, April 22nd. So they're making progress on their Starlink program, which is to provide satellite internet to many people across the globe. So yeah, pretty much these mini satellites. That's actually going to be reliable,
But, like-
fast, relatively fast internet.
60 rockets in one day.
Very interesting, I should say, because NASA can't even launch one rocket in a whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah, but these are supposed
SpaceX
to be mini low orbit.
A dog launches more rockets in one day than NASA does in a year.
Kim Jong Un launches more rockets.
Yet when you compare NASA to SpaceX just launched 60 mini things for internet.
Yes.
That's true.
But at the same time,
Thing is,
as
it's low orbit satellites.
yes, but as an outside source Larry just stated, SpaceX is privately funded. NASA is not
Exactly.
funded correctly. So at the same time, SpaceX is able to do a lot more.
Yeah, they're making a lot of progress with their various rockets. And yeah, like the one time they used a Tesla Roadster as a payload for one of their test rockets. I forget what it was called.
Yeah. And they just sent it to space.
Yeah, they just sent a Tesla Roadster as the payload.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the passenger and driver. Just
Because, technology is really getting more advanced and cheaper. Oh, wait. AMD launches a low-end Ryzen CPUs.
The
Yes.
3100 and 3100X, will this be in my new PC
Maybe.
instead of the 2700 and 2700X? Well,
it's
let's
pretty
look at the
interesting to look at.
specs.
Yeah, because
okay. Yeah, let's look at specs.
so the $99 one, which is the 3100, has 4 cores and 8 threads with the base frequency of 3.6 gigahertz. To put this in perspective, that's around what an i7 was. A $300 i7 was. About
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. About 4 years ago, I'd say. But 4
Yeah, I
years
think
ago,
so.
a $300 processor did the same as this $100 processor is. So processors are finally making improvement.
Getting
Because they were
cheaper.
pretty stagnant
Yeah.
from probably 2011 to 2016, 2017.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of working, TF2 and CSGO source codes make headlines today
That's a
around
big rip.
5 o'clock EST.
Yes.
So, you
What
can
happened?
know.
Right, so pretty much, hackers acquired source code, and based on, I believe it was an error, sort of a bug found in source a few years ago. Hackers could run remote code just by you joining one of the servers. Where one of the hackers is in the server too, of course. So that not good. Where you just
Yeah,
in a
Yeah,
game,
but, like,
you get
what-
hacked by just being in
What's
the
the worst thing that could happen out of that?
game.
They control your entire PC. You're done.
Ooh,
Just like that.
that's tough.
So honestly, that was a pretty big deal, and I have yet to see that it is.
No,
as my
I
mic is
think I
cutting out.
read. I think I read that the CS:GO one is fixed, but I'm not sure about the TF2.
TF2 is still a very game. So
Yeah.
There's like one guy working on the development right now.
yeah, poor man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it though.
At
He-
least a
he
very
got it.
small maintenance crew right now. Although they're probably going to deploy more people to fix a larger issue like this, considering
Yeah.
the game is
Mhm.
still somewhat active.
And still has a community and a market stabilized.
Yeah.
Yes.
But something that is also, you know what? That was going to be a horrible segue, anyways. We're just moving on. Google
Mhm.
Meet rivaling Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so it's there's nothing much to say, but it's just a G Suite video product with similar tile layout to what Zoom does. Google already had Hangouts before, but this is sort of something different. It's probably based on all of Google's voice or video chat stuff before.
Wasn't it Google Duo at first?
I think so.
Hmm.
It was
But
something like
I-
that.
I see. I understand the need for Google Meet to go in because Zoom isn't, that protective when it comes to people joining the rooms. Like I've watched a lot of videos of just people randomly joining
Gotcha.
random people's rooms, yeah, and trolling.
Mhm.
So
But what makes Google Meet different though is that it's supposed to have a low light mode. Pretty much, I believe they've implemented this into Google Duo before. Or with their AI and algorithms, you can brighten your video and make it a lot clearer. Yep. So that does sound
interesting.
really good. But they've already had video chat sort of APIs and code established before with Google Duo and Google Hangouts.
Gotcha.
That's nice.
So will it take over Zoom? I think so, because Zoom has been
Yeah,
under a lot
same.
of fire recently because of hackers being able to join random sessions.
It depends whether people will actually want to adapt to this, though, because people like,
Yeah.
oh, Zoom's super popular, gaining popularity. They've all jumped to this already. They're already invested in it. Would they make the switch over?
Yeah,
though?
exactly.
Although
Well,
some companies are actually banning the use of Zoom, so they may adopt Google Meet as this replacement.
Yeah. But at the same time, do you want to be lazy and stick on the same thing and risk the chance of something happening?
Yeah, but like these
or
schools and stuff, I don't know if they will actually just jump
But
ship
like,
with that.
Lovik, the thing is, the chances of your session getting hacked is lower. Like it's extremely low because there's
Yeah,
like
but do you want a
millions
chance of
other
being-
Zoom.
do you want a chance of your
Well,
session
no.
being hacked at all?
No, but like like old people that use the app, like teachers. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the
Do
thing
they
that you have.
really? Do they really want to adapt to a new app that they don't
Well,
understand anything?
We
about?
already know what most schools are like. Most schools don't like when it comes to adapting to newer technology. I see that happening very slowly as my school hands out Chromebooks,
Exactly.
but at the same time, I own a laptop that I would probably say is maybe 20 times more powerful than that Chromebook.
Yeah.
Because that Chromebook is what? It's not even 500 gigabytes of storage.
Well, no, they only have like 16 built in. They use a low power ARM chip.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Mhm.
like low end phones.
Yeah, it's a phone at this point, not even a laptop.
Our phones are more powerful than that.
Yeah, my iPhone 7 is probably more powerful than that.
Definitely.
It's true. Yeah,
My
exactly.
friggin' LG V20 is more powerful than
Yeah,
that.
they often only have like 2 to 4 gigabytes of RAM because they're only
So-
$200 devices.
Yeah, but like
150,
at the
200.
same time, if you're trying to supply your students with the best technology, supply them with the best technology.
I don't know. Well, it runs Chrome, and that's all they really wanted to do. So
Yeah, but what if they want to run other apps such as some how other schools do it when it comes to like testing, because some schools have apps that allow you to like take tests and stuff. Like what if Chromebooks cannot run that or run certain applications some teachers may want to use to deepen the understanding, like maybe Kahoot or GimKit. Chrome is able to run that, but at the same time run it somewhat slowly.
yeah, I understand that. But Chrome OS is just really really tries to be as lightweight as possible, and the hardware that goes with it, the hardware that typically has Chrome OS is usually
Mhm.
lower end and cheaper. So that's why schools are
I-
really going for it, just because it's cheap.
Yeah, and they want to put their rest of their money into other things such as maybe
Yeah, exactly.
renovations, maybe programs. And I won't blame them for that, but at the same time, like maybe want to look into other options.
Yeah, exactly. Because Chromebooks aren't that, reliable. Let's just keep it at that.
What if they did MacBooks?
Oh, MacBooks would be way too
The
expensive.
MacBooks are way too expensive.
Yeah, starting at like $800, I think, at least.
Yeah, that's what? That's 4 times the amount?
And considering that they're not plastic or anything, they can be broken a lot easier.
So if I could get my calculator up real quick, also known as Google
'Cause,
Calculator.
MacBooks are better built, but you can easily like dent them or crack them easier than an all plastic device.
I'm gonna estimate most schools have about 1,600 students, give or take.
Yeah, well, I think that is really dependent on the district.
All right, let's just say
Yeah, exactly.
1,600. Let's just say 1,600 for
1600
more.
sounds okay, yeah.
Times that by 200, which is what the Chromebook costs. You're basically spending
Well, they're
320
probably giving
grand.
out lower end Chromebooks than 200. I'm
True.
just giving out a number, probably 130 to be honest.
So 130. All right,
I would
so
say.
1,600 times 130. So just there, that's $208,000. You could buy a house with that.
Yeah, exactly. So
You could probably put a mortgage on a condo. No, you can't do that. I'm stupid. They didn't teach me that in school.
Well,
But
also
if you want
consider-
something that's like $800, such as a MacBook, I just did divide, not multiply. You're looking
But, like,
upwards
here's the
of $1
thing.
million.
Yeah, we also
But
have to
here's the
consider how
thing.
much funding schools get a year from taxpayers' money.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing: when they buy the Chromebook, they don't just buy it for a single, uh, because I can't English, but hear me out.
Yeah, I
It's
hear
not
you.
for one academic year because the other people after them are gonna come and are gonna use the same Chromebooks. So it's kind of a
Yeah, but
long-term investment.
Yeah, they're probably going to
Mhm.
be in
You
use
get
for
me.
at least 4 years or so,
Exactly.
just
and
about.
then they
But
sell them off. Well,
in
although
my
for a
school,
much lower price.
in my school, you could buy them,
All right, you guys
and
have
it's
the option to
yours.
buy
Buy
them.
them?
Yeah, $50 a year,
Okay.
and
Sorry
you get
about
it.
the disconnection.
I feel
As usual.
My internet
so.
had big poo poo.
Yeah, just adaptivity in general is really what's gonna just settle this Google Meets and Zoom debate.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so
Um,
okay, so I just joined back. So what is the topic of choice now?
So we're discussing Google's new service called Google Meet. It's sort of a rival to Zoom, and then we just started talking about Chromebooks and stuff in schools, what they provide to continue learning and
Mhm.
technology. Pretty much.
technology.
That sums up our topic that we just said. Anything else?
Is it-
I don't know.
So
Do we want to discuss like any topic? Anyone
Anyone
recommend
else?
anything?
Any last minute things?
Hmm.
He's thinking.
Hmm.
All right, time out. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna have
Dang.
a 4-person podcast, like this one was. It was kind of
Anytime
hectic,
soon.
a lot more editing
Yeah.
than some of the previous
The
ones.
Ellen Show.
Yeah.
Ellen shows in a nutshell.
All right. So yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for,
We're
having
good?
me.
All right.
Thank you for your time and listening to our bullshit and having half of us disconnect throughout
Yes,
this entire
yes.
podcast.
We're gonna need a bloop.
All right, bloopers.
That voice crack.
We're gonna need a bloopers.
Part of that.
All right, we good? We're done recording.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. Yes.